a seat from a car they made into a seat on wheels.
Yeah, what's the seat doing with wheels?
What's that seat doing with wheels? Is somebody, is this something for a homeless person to take with them? It just needs a handle. All they forgot to do was put a handle here so they can wheel it. It's leaning up against it.
So when we got Charlie, we had to go to Pennsylvania, right outside of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is like an hour outside of Philadelphia. I think an hour west of Philadelphia. And it's amazing. You go to Philadelphia. I always thought the East Coast was like densely populated everywhere. Like, I thought it was just urban everywhere. But it has, it feels like one small town after the next. Even Philadelphia, it's not, we weren't downtown, but you could see downtown from where we were. You could see the skyline. Hey, and it was not densely populated. It felt like farms, you know, and it's certainly that way. But anyway, my point is, we got him from an Amish farm, or Amish people. Now, people tell me technically they had to be Mennonites because they advertised these puppies online. But it was weird because whenever we called him, it was like hard to get him on the phone. Like maybe he was borrowing somebody's phone or something. So maybe he was Amish. I don't know, when he scooted around it somehow. But my point is, this dog, he said he was the last of the litter. Nobody else wanted him. And he's the most amazing animal of all time. Maybe these other dogs were better. And I think maybe I finally kind of figured out why that is. Could be it's because his hair here, it's not fur, it's hair, and it's not a tight curl. Other Cavapoos, it's a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel / Mini Poodle. Many others have a tighter curl. His is longer, like his hair takes maybe a little bit more after his mom, the Cavalier, even though he does really resemble more of a poodle. Tell me what you did with the bodies.
With what bodies?
That you were just talking about. How you mummified them.
I didn't know anything about what you're talking about. Talking about bodies, mummified, that's from Egypt.
Was it because your mother was so controlling, you were so religious, and you were trying to bring her back?
That's Ed Gein from Wisconsin, you idiot.
Tell me about Ed Gein. Tell me about Ed Gein.
Ed Gein's mom was religious, and she thought the town they were living in of 2,500 or 10,000, whatever, small town, was too corrupt, so she moved him to a little town of 862 and wouldn't let him socialize or have friends. And when she did, she would always find something wrong and only let him come one time. So then he ended up killing people, and what would you call it when they dig up graves?
Hey, that's a pretty big jump. It's like, hey, yeah. I'm religious.
Yeah, and he dug up graves. What do you
people.
Call that when they dig up graves and bother them? It starts with N. It's not narcolepsy. That's when you can't sleep. There's a word they call it when you dig up and abuse dead bodies. What's it called?
Desecration?
No, it starts with N. Necessity? I don't know. It was necessity for him because he tried to replace his mom with
and for you too.
No, there's a word for it when you abuse dead bodies. Oh, it starts with N, they said, and I've heard of it, but not narcolepsy.
You want to walk across the street?
What is narcolepsy when you can't sleep, or is that insomnia?
Epilepsy is, I believe epilepsy is where you fall asleep. Just randomly.
If I had my phone, I would
a
Google
narcolepsy.
What you call it when you abuse dead bodies. Maybe it's desecration. But no,
so tell me some of the specifics. What did he do?
He killed 2 people in the town, 2 ladies to try to replace his mom. I don't know how that would replace his mom by killing them. But it was on TV the other day, and they said that he did actually go to the cemetery a lot and talk to people. He was supposed to be kind of a then he said no, people said he talked to him. He stayed at his house and very few people went there. But then they said he socialized at the
Very friendly. He lived with a gentleman named Jesse.
No. He has lived with nobody ever. But his mom and his dad and his brothers, and they died. His brother and no sister were alive when he died, but they had to get out of there because her mom was too controlling of everybody. She taught the dad was an alcoholic and was bad to him. But his mom was so religious and overbearing that it just got, I don't know.
Is it possible that an alcoholic could be good to his family?
I don't know. This guy was not. I don't know if you're drunk all the time. How you
sounds like
be.
a fun guy. No,
can you
drunk
be,
people happy?
Was your dad? Didn't you say your dad was an alcoholic and was very mean?
Was.
And he took you to Mexico and left you in jail or something? They threw you in jail in Mexico and they take all your stuff and then they extort money from you?
So that's what happened there is just real quickly. So we were in Tijuana and we went to a Mexican restaurant and I couldn't drink my margarita. It was too big. So they gave us a to-go cup. So they set us up. So we were at the border. We were about ready to cross the border, and this cop runs over and he says, "Why you have this open container? Is that alcohol? Smells it? It's alcohol." So I said, "I thought it was legal. They gave me a to-go cup." And but he barely spoke English. I was just trying to. I knew a little Spanish, and so he handcuffed me, and I was pretty under the influence.
How old was you?
23.
Wow.
Threw me in the back of the cop car. My dad got in the cab and followed us over, and he's like, "Shh, shh," because he didn't want his sergeant to hear in the other room because he was shaking us down and he would have gotten in trouble. So he's like $50. And my dad wanted to make a bunch of noise. He's like, "Hey, let's start making noise so he gets in trouble." I said, no, just give him the $50.
Your dad wanted to make noise, so
Yeah.
so that guy would get in trouble.
They probably would have killed us.
Because his sergeant was.
But they ended up letting me go. But I've actually read about this online. That's actually very common.
Yeah, it is.
Very happen.
They charge you when you're in jail down there for your support, and they take money. And
Yeah.
They do give you some food.
It's a little racket that they run.
Yeah. So you said your dad paid $50.
Yeah.
So you didn't spend even a night.
Yeah, my dad is like.
So he was good to you. Was he an alcoholic? How come he didn't have a drink? How come you were the one?
He'd be.
Oh, he chugged.
No, believe me, he drank.
Well, how come he didn't have it?
Because he didn't have a to-go cup. He drank it all at the restaurant.
And you were just, it was more than you could drink, but not
at
more
that
than
time.
he could drink. Oh, so you were drunk. Tequila is very powerful drink. Was it the mezcal with the worm in it?
No.
No, but it was still.
My dad ate the worm.
So was it a brown? It was a brown.
No, I'm kidding. There wasn't a worm in it.
There was no worm.
Yeah.
So it wasn't mezcal.
No.
Oh, this is get out day because of the nice weather.